Kevin, it is wonderful to see you again, my friend.
You too,
I'm
buddy.
glad that we're back here to talk about our awesome hit. What's really weird is we appear to be in the same vacation zone, but I don't see you anywhere near me.
I'm
We
in
call
that
this. Go ahead.
resort right back over your shoulder there.
Oh, that's okay. Right on, right on. I found myself a beachfront bungalow.
I'm having something cold and fruity.
There we go. There we go. So, the last episode that we did, we talked about how we wrote the song and kind of the process and how we got to know each other and all of that. And we decided it would be cool if you made a demo and I made a demo, and then we come back and compare on the back end. So, and then we even thought, it might be neat to have AI take a shot at it too to see what AI would be able to do with it. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, I think maybe we'll play like a verse and chorus of the work tape just so everybody can see where we started.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here so I can flip over to the audio. Let's see. Did it allow the share?
It gave me an option to select allow, and I did, but I don't hear anything.
Okay. All right, so here's the sharing screen.
Mhm.
Here we go. Got the work tape?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Feels like I've been handcuffed to a screen. Pay monthly fees to lease the American dream. I can feel these bags under my eyes. Every day seems like I'm wasting time. All this stress and aggravation, think I'm gonna need a shoreline destination. I'm done. I said I'm done. I ain't waiting on 5 o'clock, checking out and pulling the plug. I'm done with all the tedious. I'm done. Think it's time to simplify. Get my feet wet and unwind from all
That's a
this
happy song.
overstimulation. I'm on indefinite vacation. I'm done. All right, so there's where we started.
I gotta say, man, I've never heard that work tape.
Oh, really?
I haven't. I heard the one you did before the changes.
Oh, okay.
So I definitely want to copy that too, man. Like I
All
collect
right.
work tapes.
I'll make sure you get it. So you want to start with yours or mine?
Let's start with mine. I feel like mine is probably the least fleshed out. I'll call mine the uh, publisher's delight because it's just
Publisher's
like
Delight.
it's just bare. It kind of gives the vibe, but I really kind of opted for just really simple. And I wonder if I did too simple. Like I definitely think I would probably. That's why I'm excited about adding elements of both of ours because I feel like mine is just too simple. It's lacking what the other demos have.
All right.
So yeah.
Well, let's give it a listen. We're gonna listen to full listen through on it, and
All right.
I am excited. Maybe it's like, no, we're not doing this. What's happening here? There it
Yes.
goes. Uh-oh. I really like that ukulele in there.
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
it's like,
Feels like I've been handcuffed to a
vocals
screen.
are crisp too. I love it.
Pay monthly fees to lease the American dream. I can feel these bags under my eyes.
Love that shaker.
Every day seems like I'm wasting time. All the stress and aggravation, think I'm gonna need a shoreline destination. I'm done. I said I'm done. I ain't waiting on 5 o'clock, checking out and pulling the plug. I'm done with all the tedious, I'm done. Think it's time to simplify, get my feet wet and unwind from the overstimulation. I'm on indefinite vacation. I'm done.
That ascending piano line is awesome.
I bet by this time tomorrow night I'll be catching that Caribbean steel drum by. Maybe I'll just put my life on cruise, find some peace of mind that's way long overdue. Get me something cold and fruity, maybe then it won't matter what I'll be doing. I'm done. I said I'm done. I ain't waiting on 5 o'clock, checking out and pulling the plug. I'm done with all the tedious, I'm done. Think it's time to simplify, get my feet wet and unwind the overstimulation. I'm on indefinite vacation. All this stress and aggravation, I'm on indefinite vacation. I'm done. I'm done.
I like the emphasis on the back end too. That's good stuff, man. I like the evolution of it. I like how it starts off kind of that bare naked.
Mhm.
It allows the moment, the emotion of the vocal to peel through the most, and I think that's what country music's all about. You know, is nothing gets in the way of the vocal. So I really like the evolution. I like how the guitars come in subtle, building into that pre-chorus. The vocal was super crisp, man. It just sounds great. And then I love the shaker, just enough of an element to give you some movement, and the scratches on the back end too. Like
Mhm.
it's funny to see the similarities because
Mhm.
I was like, when I was making mine, I thought this could use some scratchy stuff, you know, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so it's cool. It's cool that we were on the same page on
Yeah.
that. But yeah, and I like the tag on the end too,
Yeah.
the repeating of the verse there. I mean the chorus.
Yeah. I just tried to, even though my intention was to make it really simple, I knew it still had to build throughout. So every single section, I just try to do something a little different or something more. Like I didn't bring that acoustic guitar into, I think, verse 2 maybe, and then I didn't bring the electric into like the last chorus or something, or maybe the last the
So
second
was
pre.
there was an acoustic in the pre-chorus, wasn't there? Didn't
Um,
it? Wasn't there a strum? One like a whole note
Oh
strum?
yeah. There was a strum. So yeah, that's the thing. So the acoustic rhythm didn't come in until the second verse, but the
Yeah.
strum came in right at that pre-chorus.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It built perfectly. Like I
yeah.
really liked the evolution of the song. And even the four on the floor drum beat, like
Hmm.
just it gave you just enough where it kept that chill vibe. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like this I really like the vibe of the song. I
Yeah,
really
man.
like it.
Yeah, cool. I do too. It's what I feel like it does lack is that melody, the melodic elements, and everybody will hear what I'm talking about as they hear your demo, and then as they hear the AI demo, the melodic elements that um, those demos have, particularly the steel drum stuff, and even again, I won't spoil yours. We'll talk about I'll talk about this after we hear
All
yours.
right. Well, I know I sent you the text message that said your mix is 100% better than mine, and I think that was an underestimation. Your
I
mix
didn't
is like
think your
1,000% better than mine.
I didn't think your mix was bad, man. I didn't think so at all.
I was, to quote our song, man, by the time I got to the mix phase, I was just done. Like
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I need to get this to him, and I need to get it to him with enough time for him to listen to it and think about, his response and
Yeah.
everything. So I wasn't trying to go like super deep into the
Yeah,
mix and
yeah.
stuff.
I think the idea too is that once we kind of finish listening to the demos, we'll kind of make a game plan for like a super demo, you know?
For sure, for sure. All right, well, anything else to say about yours?
Nope.
All right, on to mine. Let's see if it loads faster.
See already, man, like I feel like I'm walking like I'm in the Bahamas or something, you know?
Feels like I've been handcuffed to a screen. Pay monthly fees to lease the American dream. I can feel these bags under my eyes. Every day seems like I'm wasting time. All this stress and aggravation, think I'm gonna need a shoreline destination. I'm done. I said I'm done. I ain't waiting on 5 o'clock, checking out and pulling the plug. I'm done with all the tedious. I'm done. Think it's time to simplify, get my feet wet and unwind from all this overstimulation. I'm on indefinite vacation. I'm done. I bet by this time tomorrow night I'll be catching that Caribbean steel drum vibe. Might be time to put my life on cruise, find some peace of mind that's way long overdue. Get me something cold and fruity, maybe then it won't matter what I'll be doing. I'm done. I said I'm done. I ain't waiting on 5 o'clock, checking out and pulling the plug. I'm done with all the tedious. I'm done. I think it's time to simplify, get my feet wet and unwind from all this overstimulation. I'm on indefinite vacation. I'm done.
Man, how could you listen to that and not feel happy? It's such a
So I went for more of that, like I heard David Lee Roth talk about it on Joe Rogan one time. He said if you take a song that's kind of like emotional and you put it to a happy beat, like it adds this weird contrast. So, and I'm not saying that this song had like a sad emotional feeling, but it was kind of a deep subject. He's talking about some things that are really bugging him, and he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give it that upbeat vibe, but I wanted it to feel like, tropical. So one thing that I thought was really cool that I didn't hear the first time through, but after listening to yours, you had an ascending piano line, and I had a descending bass line. And that stood out to me during this listen. I thought that was really unique because it was the same spot. You went one way and I went the other.
Mhm. I think honestly, man, there are elements of that I definitely want to make like the final cut. I love the guitars, the electric guitars. I love the bass line. The bass line is exactly what I was talking about before, when I said it just needs that like kind of reggae bass feel.
Yeah.
It did, man. Like you nailed that. I think that was awesome. Um, Definitely. So that'll make it just that bass line alone, is like gonna be a game changer for the demo, for the final demo.
For
And
sure.
the guitars, that lead part, awesome. And you played all that, or was any of it like virtual
So
or
I played all of the guitars, the acoustics, the electrics, all the layers there.
nice?
The bass I used Tune Tracks Easy Bass, but
Really?
I just for the tonality, I put all the notes in.
Okay,
I put them
got you.
all in MIDI.
I
So
use Tune Track as well. Yeah, I use Easy Bass, Tune Track Easy Bass.
yeah.
Um, that's cool. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, you just programmed it all in, and
Hmm.
because you can like literally get so involved in that you can program in slides and everything.
Yeah.
So that's cool, man. Yeah. Well, it sounded great, man. I love the
Thanks.
feel of it. I love the steel drums. It's exactly what it needed.
There's
Now,
there's a lot of
the
ear candy hiding back there though. Like
yes,
I wanted to focus a lot on the um like the full immersion of the song. I wanted you to feel like you were walking on the beach, hearing different elements, like
yes,
kind of like you're just walking and people are just jamming on the beach,
yeah,
like
yeah,
banging
yeah.
on some bongos and stuff, like
Well, it's
so that you
funny.
kind of join the party.
It's funny you say that because literally when it first starts, like right out of the gate, it feels like you would be like when I was walking that in the streets of the Bahamas. That's like you hear street musicians playing that kind of groove.
Nice.
So yeah, you nailed that. Awesome.
And I wanted to add the keys. They had that they call it the Dream Machine, right? It's got that '80s vibe to it, but
Mm,
it took me back to that Miami Vice kind of thing, like just that feel, that vibe. And the drop is something that's kind of current, so I
mhm.
wanted that sub drop in there just
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard that, and that really emphasized that part where we were like, "I'm done." Like
yeah,
we talked about that in writing it. It needed to have that, and so
yeah.
hey, irregardless of what we make or what versions we put on, I would still love to be able to put this version on my YouTube channel if you're cool with it or use it
Yeah,
somehow or whatever.
absolutely.
Because I think just yeah, we're shooting for like that modern country kind of feel, but this version is just really cool. It's a really cool vacation tropical kind of sound. It's almost like a remix. Could be a remix. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and it kind of proved, it helped me prove to myself that I can do more than just country music. Like this got
Yeah.
that reggae Latin
Yeah.
vibe to it, and with country lyrics. So
Hmm.
it's kind of weird.
Mm.
But yeah, I like how it turned out. It's overproduced for sure. Like that's just I'm a rookie producer, so
Yeah. Me
rookie
too.
producers overproduce everything, and I
Yeah.
feel like it's overproduced. But we can reel it in, not a problem.
Yeah. No, I have that problem. I especially if you listen to some of my earlier demos, which are on my YouTube channel, they yeah, they're like, I mean, layered, like 20, 30 instruments layered. And I realize, you don't have to have all that. It's like sometimes just that empty space, sometimes just like a killer guitar, killer bass, killer drums, man. You know.
Yeah.
So no, I'm the king of like over layer and stuff.
I wouldn't have been able to tell from this one, man, because you kept this one nice. This one was right there. It emphasized the important elements of it,
Yeah.
and
Well, I'm getting a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit more experienced, and I'm kind of starting to learn that it doesn't need to have as many instruments. It just needs to have the instruments you put on it be like played well. You know what I'm saying? Like good quality,
right. It's
parts.
and not only the good quality recordings, like it's got to be the right sound. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
have to be a ton of instruments. It just has to be the right sound.
yeah.
If you would try to take some kind of like metal guitar and put it into here, that it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not gonna work, right? So yeah,
Give me something cold and fruity.
that could have been fun. We should have did that.
We do a metal version.
There we go.
We should write a song and then just have like 10 different styles, like versions of it.
That would be fun.
So I want to say something about the AI version. Man, honestly, dude, I don't think either one of our demos compare with the. It's insane. Like I expected it to be just something completely different, like a different melody, different. The lyrics would be the same, but everything else would be completely different. Different melody, different chord progression. It is our song.
Yeah, it
It's our
is.
song. There are a couple of small little changes, like they throw a flat seven in there where there should be a two minor seven or something like that. But I think one of the versions did like a 1 5 6 4 instead of just a 1 5 2 4, just things like that. But man, I mean, it's just essentially just a demo
Yeah.
of. I mean, it's like a real demo of our song. Whereas I've never seen that from AI before, and I guess it's newer technology.
So it's you can upload your guitar vocal
Mhm.
and
Like the
it
work
will,
tape.
yeah, the work tape. So and it only I think it only takes like 90 seconds or
Okay.
120 seconds or something
Okay.
like that. But it'll take that and it'll say, "Okay, here's what I need to stick to," and it'll run with that. So,
Yeah.
but now that
Wow.
they've heard it two different ways, now we're going
Mm-hmm.
to hear it in a pop country vibe
Mm-hmm.
completely generated by AI. And I'll tell you before I hit play on this one, I ran this so many different varieties. I
Mm-hmm.
tried it. I wanted to try Carolina Shag because I
Hmm.
thought we're both in the Carolinas. Like this might be
Yeah.
really cool to give it this
Oh
Carolina
yeah.
Shag
Yeah.
vibe. And I did not like what it returned.
Mm,
So I was like, nope, we're not even going to try that one.
gotcha.
It did an okay job with reggae calypso, but
Mm-hmm.
it was too reggae, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it lost the elements of the country vibes. So I told it to give me pop country,
Mm-hmm.
and well, you're gonna see what it came up
All
with.
right. Let's see it. Let's hear it.
Feels like I've been handcuffed to a screen,
Crazy, man.
paying monthly fees to lease the American
There's
dream.
that flat seven or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I can feel these bags under my eyes. Every day seems like I'm
Which
wasting
don't sound bad.
right.
all the stress and aggravation. Think I'm gonna need a shoreline destination. I'm done. I said I'm done. I ain't waiting on 5 o'clock, checking out and pulling the plug. I'm done with all the tedious. I'm done. I think it's time to simplify, get my feet wet and unwind from all this overstimulation. I'm on indefinite vacation. I'm done.
Nice cut.
Nice.
Great.
I bet by this time tomorrow night
I'd like more movement out of the bass.
I'll be catching that Caribbean steel drum vibe.
I don't like that they said Caribbean, but
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
Tomato,
just put
tomato.
my life on cruise, find some peace of mind that's way long overdue. Get me something cold and fruity, maybe then it won't matter what I'll be doing. I'm done. Said I'm done. I ain't waiting on 5 o'clock, checking out and pulling the plug. I'm done with all the tedious. I'm done. Think it's time to simplify, get my feet wet and unwind from all this overstimulation. I'm on indefinite vacation. I'm done.
added a little solo, but it's still our chords.
Said I'm done. I ain't waiting on 5
Nice
o'clock,
drop chorus.
checking out and pulling the plug.
I would have wanted it to build back there.
I'm done with all the tedious. I'm done. think it's time to simplify and get my feet wet
I want that
and
bass to get
unwind
funkier.
from all
It's like
this overstimulation. I'm on indefinite vacation. I'm done.
And it just cuts at the end.
My goodness, man. I've got so many questions. I mean, what was that robot chord it put in there at one point? It was like a minor, diminished, flat. Like it was, I know not the flat seven, but there was one chord in there. It was like, what is that? But the female version was funny because she split the difference. She goes Caribbean, that
Yeah.
Caribbean. Man, that's exactly what we envisioned it to be. Like that pop country, that the country still has the vibe.
Still has the vibe. I think there's a couple of elements that I would have wanted to see in that,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
like a little bit of. But what was interesting to see is how you and I both made the evolution of the song. Yours was a beautiful evolution,
Hmm.
and I feel like the AI did very similar to you in that evolution.
Hmm.
Mine was way overproduced, but it still had the evolution. Like you could
Right.
still see the song getting busier and then coming back down and then getting busier again to that final crescendo.
Yeah.
But the the I felt like it was good, but there's a couple of elements that it needs. Like for one, I liked the cut um after the chorus, but
Hmm.
I still think that we should keep that drop element coming into the chorus just to
Hmm.
really emphasize that I'm done.
Hmm.
And then it kind of re-emphasizes again with the cut at the end of the chorus, but it still keeps that drum, you know, to
Hmm.
let you know, like, okay, we're transitioning, and then it starts to build back in. It was missing the steel drums. That needs to get in there just because it's like that ghosty element kind
It
of
was
hiding behind you.
subtle. If it was subtle, so it was like when he said, "I can that Caribbean steel drum." Then it goes. If you listen in the background, it goes ding ding. It had
Yeah,
it just for that part, which
yeah.
was kind of cool. But yeah, it didn't have it throughout, which is what we wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
so
like
that's
it's got to be there.
that's the limitation with AI. It's pretty much all or nothing. You can't go back and make those tweaks like you could with like if you'd have came to me and I handed you that track back, like you'd be like, okay, I want the bass to be this, I want this here, and I could have went back and fixed all that. But AI, you really can't. So that's what I see as one limitation. Maybe in the future you could be like 5 years from now, you probably will be able to.
So I talked to a guy on an episode of my podcast,
Yeah.
and he said he uses the AI tools, and he said that on one of the most current releases, you actually have the ability to go in paint. You can do edits.
Wow.
And I
Yeah.
didn't specifically ask or maybe I did, I can't remember, if you could change the instrumentation or just the lyrics. But if I would find it very interesting if you could go back in there and tell it like, hey, in this section, add a steel drum.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I have heard people are downloading the stems now too. You can actually go in and break it apart and download the stems and take those into your DAW and work with those
Yeah.
instruments. So
Well, I can separate stems in Studio One. Like it's just like a click of a button. That's still new technology too, so there's still artifacts. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, if it's a clear recording like that is, I mean, the artifacts are going to be on stuff like if you got an old band tape or something, old band recording, there's going to be a lot of artifacts on that where there's like bleed. But a crystal clear digital recording like that, I mean, it should just separate the stems pretty clearly.
right.
So I can definitely separate any of those. You probably could too. Like, what do you use? Pro Tools?
I use Pro Tools, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Pro Tools has probably had stem separation for a while. Studio One kind of just got it. Like, you know, uh, hey, I'm a new producer too, so I'm just in time to get put out of a job, basically.
No, I don't think that AI is going to do that. And shoot, we could do a whole nother episode on
Yeah,
just
for sure.
AI, but
Yeah.
but I think that what AI lacks is the ability to um no feelings. It can describe feelings, but
They
it
don't have
can't
the
feel feelings.
feels. Yeah.
So, so it doesn't know that, when you use a sad lyric, you can emphasize that sad lyric with this type of chord. It doesn't, I don't think that it recognizes that ability yet, and I don't think that it will ever get there. I think it'll get
Mhm.
close, but there is no replacement for human emotion.
So my question is this. So I've heard, now I don't know that much about it. I think you have probably delved into this world a lot more than I have. So you would probably be more knowledgeable on the subject of AI. Have played with it a little bit, but I haven't really got into it as much as I feel like you have. What I've heard is that you can't copyright AI music. Um, so if that's true, let's just say is that first of all, is that true?
So the only things that you can physically copyright is lyrics that you have written and melody that you have generated. Or
Right.
not generated, sorry, melody that you have created. So you cannot copyright a chord progression, you cannot copyright a drum beat. You
Mhm.
can only copyright the lyrics that you have written and the melody at which you are
So that would
singing
mean that
those.
I would be able to go and so if I copyrighted this song with the Library of Congress, I would go and I would submit the work tape. I wouldn't submit a master demo. I would just submit the work tape of it. And then that has nothing to do with AI because that version was our song
Right.
with a couple of minor changes. I mean, you know, what's the difference in that and having, Nashville session players? Nashville session players will probably do it a heck of a lot better, honestly. But
So so I have the answer to that question.
yeah,
I was in a meeting a week or two ago with I mean, I guess I can say the names on here. It was a Songtown meeting, so I
yeah,
won't say
yeah.
the names of the people, but it was a
Hold on a second.
Songtown.
All right, all right.
Oh,
Little plug there.
there you go. You've got the mug. You're part of the mug club.
I do.
So, but anyways, it was a Songtown meeting, and it was specifically about AI. And
Mhm.
there was a guy there that is a publisher, and he's a representative for a publisher, and he said that he's got a friend that hasn't had a cut in a little while, is running a little low on funds, and is using AI to make his demos.
Mhm.
So I've also they also talked about how they'll use AI just for the vocal, right? If it's a song that needs a female, they'll
Yeah,
take the vocal
they'll
track
put
and
an AI filter on it. Yeah.
yep, and they'll do that. And he's saying that it's kind of split right now. If some people, some publishers, some artists, they're completely, if it
Hmm.
says AI in any part of the production,
Hmm.
nope, not even going to listen to it.
Hmm.
But there are others that are saying, okay, well, if you can prove to me that you wrote this song and it was
Hmm.
only produced by AI, and when I say produced, I mean the
The demo.
instruments,
Yeah, the demo.
yeah,
Yeah.
the demo, then they'll at least kind of listen to what you've got. So I think the day is coming where that's going to be more normal to get that AI vibe in there. But I think people are shying away from it at the moment because the copyright is unclear on it. Even
Hmm.
though everybody is doubled down on you can only copyright a lyric and a melody, the you proving it is going to be the difficult part, and I think that's why a lot of people are shying away from it.
Yeah.
And also there's the uncertainty on it right now with because of how the AI models were trained.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's still kind of open litigation where the the labels might be able to come back on the back end and say, okay, well, you generated this song with AI, you've copyright or you've infringed our copyright because based on this melody, maybe you heard it or the AI heard it from whatever artist that recorded this song 30 years ago,
Okay.
and
So
you stole that melody.
so for if you punch lyrics in and then you get an AI completely AI generated melody. Yeah, I mean that could be a big problem because it's probably something else. But for our song, where every bit of that is mostly our song, other than the solo, if you demoed it at like Pearl Snap Studios or something, they're going to put a solo in it. They might have a little bit of instrumentation in the uh, intro. Just
Right.
that's what AI did. So would that apply to a song like ours, where it's literally the whole melody and chords and everything are all ours?
Yeah. So I'm not sure, and I think that's
Yeah,
why a lot of people are shying away from it.
yeah,
So, but what I do know is the way that it's currently written and the current understanding of it is AI is making the argument for fair use because they're not actually generating income with it, and all they did was they did the same thing you would do. I listen to music, I know what I like, I took elements of a song, like that's songwriter 101.
hmm
Everybody does that.
yeah, yeah.
So, and that's the case that AI is making right now in court.
The songwriter in me is like leaping for joy, because this means that like no longer do we have to either spend $600 on like a really professional sounding demo, or like dozens and dozens of hours of time doing it. It's just, it does take some time, I'm sure, but not like producing a track full out. So
Right.
the songwriter in me is like leaping for joy, but the producer in me is thinking, man, this is gonna put a damper on the livelihood of a lot of people.
I disagree with that, and the reason why I disagree with that is the the let me take a step back. I agree and disagree. There's elements I agree with. The biggest one is I talked about it on a podcast the other day with a guy. The ability to take the conversation that we just had about the guy that's using AI for his demos, right? Like he's taken like we did with ours. Took our song, it's our lyrics, our melody, and AI produces the track for us. To be able to do that and produce a demo in a variety of feels
Mm-hmm.
and do it for a monthly membership fee of, ironically, this song of a monthly membership fee.
Yeah.
but to do it for, whether it's $10 or I don't know what their top membership is, but for even $20, call it $30.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
way cheaper than a professional
Oh
demo.
man, yeah.
And I've had it before where I've sent a song off to somebody to send back a demo to me, and I wasn't crazy about what they came back with.
Yeah.
So, and they'll work with you a little bit to get you, well, what didn't you like? We could try this, try that for you, but they'll only work a little bit with you before they go, okay, man, you've chewed up enough of our time and it's not worth the money anymore. So move on, take what you got and be happy with it. So,
Yeah.
so I think that it gives you that ability to try out the vibes of what you want.
Mm.
But again, I don't think that people want that chintzy of a thing out there. So they'd still want to take what the AI generated and either have it professionally re-recorded to make it a master, or you go the other route too. And I'm a guy that I kind of feel inadequate if I didn't do it. So like if I was to plug a song into AI and go, oh man, that sounds great, I'll just re-record all the instruments myself. And I just did that. I'm actually going to put a video out of me doing that. But I like the song. I think I actually sent it to you too. It's the one about she's getting even, the Vegas, the sign. So, but like I did that. I wrote that song and I plugged it into AI and I just re-recorded what it came back with. And I still feel inadequate because I didn't write those riffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I want to, at the end of the day, when I sit down and listen to that song back, I want to go, it was my creative prowess that came up with the riffs, the vibe.
Even if it's not as good. And that's exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel. I like the demo, but like, honestly, it's not something I would do on a regular basis. Like I wouldn't just, because I don't want to always feel like I can never do it as good as AI. I don't want to always have to feel like that. I just want to produce what I can produce, and whatever it is what it is. And
Right.
essentially at the end of the day, man, I'm producing songwriter demos anyway for myself, because like that one that I like, my demo is a songwriter demo, because then so what I see is like that would be the songwriter version. And then like that AI version would be more like that'd be more like an artist version. So the artist is going to come back and make it 10 times or 100 times better than I can do it anyway.
Right.
I mean, if it's a pro artist.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody that can compete with, there's a reason why they're on the radio and we're just writing songs.
Right. The songwriters.
Side note, your audio got a little softer.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. So, okay, let's try this one thing. What about now?
Yep, much better.
I hit original sound for musicians and I put it on, but I thought it was already on because I had it on in the settings. But
so that would be because we launched a new meeting.
Okay, well, but it's still like I can go look in the settings right now and it still says it's on, so I don't know.
Huh. Okay.
But then up here, like at the top, it says it's off, so I don't know, man. If it's better now, if it's back the way it was, then cool. So for our demo, man, what do you think? Our super demo.
Our super demo.
Our super duper demo.
So I think that to wrap up the AI conversation, I think that the future of AI is using it as a tool to enhance your song, enhance what you've already got. And I think there are certain elements of that song that that AI created, of our version of AI's version of our song, that we could take. I knew for a fact that I wanted to hear harmonies in it. I just didn't put any in, but I don't know if it was because I couldn't figure out where to put them in, or if I was just done tracking at that time. I put a little bit into it. So, and then I was also starting to think it already felt overproduced to me. So if I added another layer on top of it, it's just going to get even more fuddled. So So I was like, all right, let's leave the vocals, let's leave the harmonies out. But I like the harmonies in it. I like that little breakdown and that drum transition between chorus 1 and verse 2. I also like that little solo section after chorus 2 and the drop chorus coming back.
Yes.
So
yes,
I think that those elements from that song we can take and add, our piece to it.
So it's more of an arrangement thing, like it's more of a dynamic thing, whereas the instrumentation, we would just really use a combination of what we already have, like what you have on yours and what I have on mine as far as instrumentation. So what we're taking away from the AI demo is just dynamic ideas, really.
Yeah. The arrangement, if you will.
Yeah.
I think what I liked about yours that was lacking in mine was I really like that. I like that ukulele. It gives you that tropical island feel. It was missing from mine. So I do like that. Also, your instrumentation changed noticeably in the second verse. There was an evolution to the instruments that you were using. With mine, I think I kept that. I think the acoustic guitar stays there, and I think it's doing the same thing. Or I might have changed the strum pattern on it, but it doesn't change it enough where it makes it a noticeable change and feels like the song has been refreshed.
Yeah.
I added the steel drums, and I added a pipe organ in there. I think there's a Hammond B3 in there.
Oh, cool.
But outside of that, I don't think there was any real evolution there. So we need to do something. I mean, obviously, let's keep the steel drums, but we need to do something with the evolution of verse 2 so that it keeps you interested in the song.
I think honestly, if it were just me just soloing this, like I would probably honestly just not even bring the steel drums into the second pre, because not the second pre, the second verse, or maybe the second verse, because he's not there yet, really, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? He's just done. He's like still in his first location, and then he really doesn't move. It's all in his mind. The whole setting is like kind of in his head. So, but in his mind, he kind of moves there more in the second verse. And I'd probably bring those in, you
in
know,
the
right in
pre.
that. Yeah.
In the pre. Yeah, that would make more sense. And you know, I when I first put them in, I had them right after I'll be catching that Caribbean steel drum vibe.
Yeah.
Da,
Yeah.
da, 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 da. I
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
it there. And then I don't know why I shifted it back to the beginning. It was probably
Mhm.
because of the arrangement. I was like, I wanted there to be some type of change there.
Yeah.
So I brought it in beforehand, but then I was like, well, I don't want it to be distracting. So I kind of tucked
Mhm.
it back and it gave it that haunting little, like, dreamy, ethereal thing behind there. But yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying. If we pop those in the pre, then it reinforces the pre and it reinforces the incoming chorus.
But see, because we're not AI, we can play with it like a number of ways and just, you know, kind of float it back and volley it back and forth. I did have one more question about that AI demo though,
Yeah,
that fourth demo. Um, was that vocal a Ron clone?
no.
Okay, it sounded a lot like your vocal.
Huh.
I didn't know because you know how you can clone your own vocal.
Yeah, you can train them and you can save a persona, but
Right,
that
right.
wasn't me.
Okay, gotcha.
It might have it might have just took the vibe from the work tape and it was like, "Oh, it sounds
Mm,
like this. Let's just give them this."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cuz one of them, it sent back a female vocal, it sent one back that sounded like Luke Bryan.
yeah, yeah.
So what else you got? I think those elements uh would work. If we want to use if we want to keep the steel drum, throw it into the pre.
Hmm.
Um I used an arpeggiator in there at one point, and I don't know if you could hear it in the demo, but there's like this whoop, 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 whoop behind the chorus,
Okay.
and I thought it sounded cool,
Mm.
you know, but it's tucked in back there, so it just gives you a little bit, and I think the reason I liked that arpeggiated feel is because when you listen to that tropical, that reggae vibe, there's always that pumping, that pulsing whoop, boop, 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 you know. So, and that gave that
Mm.
vibe, but not reggae.
I didn't catch that. I'll have to go back and listen to that. Um, yeah, man, I'm really excited about this demo. What would you think about you sending me? What do you want to do? Do you want to just like I'll send you my stems or you send me yours or just do both or
I
do you
think
want to
you can produce way better than I can. So yeah, I
okay.
mean your mix was incredible.
Just send me the
So
stems then?
So yeah, I'll export and send you the stems, and then you can do whatever you want with them. What do you want? Which drum beat do we like? Like I know you want my bass line. I'll send you. Do you want me to just send you the MIDI for it? I'll send you the MIDI.
Just send me yeah, just send me the MIDI, just send it all, you know, and I can just kind of pick and choose. I do think though there is one thing I really liked about their demo or the AI demo versus ours is it had the full out drums pretty much from jump, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I'm not saying we necessarily need to have it from like right at the beginning, but at some point coming in with that full beat, I think really made it drive. So I'd love to just take that drum beat, you know, from that AI, just not the stem, but I mean like just the concept, you know, the rhythm they were using and recreate that myself so that maybe like the first portion of it, man, is very acoustic, laid back, and then that second part is the full out drums. I know we talked about just keeping it very acoustic and simple, but man, didn't it sound so great with those drums?
It really did. And what was different about it was, you know, my drums were all kind of hand drums,
Hmm.
right? So it gave you that islandy feel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think that may have been distracting from the vibe of the song. So if we were going for the country vibe, I agree with you that the AI put a really solid drum track together.
Hmm.
So um we could we could take that and roll
Hmm.
with it. I would like to keep that drop, that sub
Hmm.
drop right there at the before I'm done, because I
Yeah.
think it adds that modern element to it that's,
Yeah.
that's 2024, 2025 ish, and
Yeah.
it gives it that, and it reinforces.
Hmm.
So um and also the the Dream Machine piano, I think that fits very well to give it that nostalgic, very airy kind
Hmm.
of thing. And since you once upon a time ago have some worship band experience, I think that we've got to have a nice ethereal pad that goes behind pretty
Hmm.
much from the start of the
Okay.
song all the way through, just
Yeah.
to give you that outside open air free element
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
It just tucked in just enough where you can sort of hear it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't distract. I tried to do that, but mine was more of a, I just didn't find the right sound. And
Hmm.
but it's there. And if you listen,
Hmm.
you can hear it. It's kind of a growling, attacking thing. But I think if I would have found the right sound and it would have been more light and airy and open,
Hmm.
it would have
Hmm.
really reinforced that whole track. So if we can get that in there,
Hmm.
then I think that would,
Think we can do it. Um,
that uke has to be in there too. Like, don't
yeah,
you dare
yeah,
skimp on that uke.
yeah, from the beginning. Yeah, straight from the beginning. Um, I lost my train of thought, man. Just so much to consider. Um, yeah, I think it's going to sound amazing though, man. I really do. And I'll have that number four, that fourth demo, that fourth AI demo to kind of just maybe for some inspiration for those live drums and that dynamic feel. But I think I remember what I was going to say. If you just want to send me the stems for now, and then we can go from there because I might not mess too much with how you did it, you know.
Hmm.
But if you want to send me the arrangement, I mean, send me both, man. Could you send me both, like the stems and the MIDI?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
the MIDI will only be for well, it'll be if you want the drum stems, I can, that was MIDI. So what's cool is I layered those. I have the hand drums, but there's also a full drum kit behind there, so it kind of reinforces certain punchy elements.
So what I would do with that, I love this sound where you have a full drum set, but then you also have that percussion over that like congas or something kind of
Yeah.
over the top of it. And I think that could be a great place for that to fit. I think having those really would enhance that island vibe.
Okay.
So
Those
I
were
definitely
those were actually samples from Splice.
okay. Yeah, just still send them over so I don't have to like search for them or anything.
Yeah. No,
I
I
have
got you.
Splice, but you know.
I'll show
Yeah,
you too.
man, and then we'll throw those in there and just send them without the drum because I've got some like world class like drum plugins. So I'm like Thomas Pridgeon, Tony Royster Jr., stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like probably just use those to completely recreate the drums.
Okay.
Uh, and then so yeah, but send those what are they congas? Is that what they were?
It's a cajon.
Cajon. Okay, yeah, just send that over and you know, or just send
No, not a
everything, man.
cajon. Sorry. There's a cajon and a djembe.
Nice, nice. Yeah, man. Just send it all. We'll make we'll Frankenstein this bad boy together.
I'm good with that, and I really like the way that we did this because it's, it gave, not only did it give two different angles, but it gave the third perspective of AI,
Hmm.
and I like certain elements of what the AI did. I don't like certain things that what the AI did.
Yeah.
So, my final question to you is, after you've finished mixing and producing this whole thing,
Hmm.
um, oh, before that, do you want to do kind of like combined background vocals? I don't care if you want to do the lead vocal. That doesn't bug me at all because you said you wanted to release the song. So if you,
I'm
but do you
probably
want
gonna redo the lead vocal too. Like I mean, I'm not super happy, and I'm like you. Like I was kind of tucking this in with in between some other projects for like customers that I've had to get done.
right?
So I kind of did a rush job on the vocals. I like the way the guitar sound. I'll probably keep my acoustic guitar. But if I do the arrangement, like if I do a different arrangement, it might be that, I mean, I'm starting from scratch. I don't know. I mean, Probably not. I mean, my track was 3 minutes, I think. I don't think we need to really go much more than that. I mean, if it might be cool to kind of have that solo in, or I don't know.
I think that's where the AI was too. The AI was at like 307 or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I liked that little solo, and I
I did
liked
too.
and I liked the drop chorus to come out and kind of reinforce that coming out of that solo. So that would be an element that I think we should keep. But anyways, if you want, we can combine for the BGs if you want, and if not, then you can take care of all that if you want. But I would really, really, really like at the end of this whole process a backing track of it so that I can
Mhm.
perform the song live when I
Absolutely,
go
man.
out there.
I'll give you every resource I have. Yeah, we'll be like Native American Indians, man. We'll just like skinning a buffalo. We'll use every single
Use every
like
piece.
everything, every piece.
I love it.
Um, yeah, because I mean, I'd love to put, man. I mean, as much as you say you overproduced your version, whatever. I liked it. I really would love to have like a copy of that on YouTube. I mean, just because it sounded so like, you know, I'm actually so yeah, we're writing for country music, but if you're in the Bahamas, you're not necessarily, I mean, you're gonna have something that sounds a lot more island
Right.
or Jamaica or something. I mean, and that sounded like that nailed that vibe.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to have that like reggae version.
Yeah. Well, and it's cool too because I know that you're a song townie. And so, when you watch some of the videos with like what's his name, Simon, I forget his last name right now, but
Yeah.
when
Simon Reed, I think.
Simon Reed, yeah, when
Yeah.
he does the different versions of
Mhm.
songs, and he'll take
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same work tape, and he'll give you like a pop vibe, a country vibe, a rock vibe, like
Yeah.
and it sounds like such a different song, each version of it. But I watch every one of those videos because I think they're all interesting,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
I've seen those too.
I like the different mixes of the tracks. So
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. Like we can keep the original version, we can keep my version, we can keep the AI version for all
Hmm.
it's worth. And
Yeah.
just put them out there and say here's what we got because it's our song, right? So
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's, going back to what we said, I don't know, I know some people are into it, like the use of AI. Some people aren't. Um, Going back to that, I feel like what I've experienced is, so I've got a couple of, I think we touched on this briefly before, either that or it was a conversation I had last night, but I think we touched briefly on, I've got a song with a female filter on it where I did the vocal. So I did it in the key of G, um, transposed the vocal up to the key of D to be just more, to be higher, and then built the demo around it. And it sounds just like Taylor Swift. It's a Taylor Swift filter, but it's my vocal just pitched up higher and then using a Taylor Swift filter. But it still sounds like something an AI generated. So it's like I wrote every bit of that song, wrote it, produced the demo, melody, chords, everything. It's just got that AI filter that's very obviously Taylor Swift.
right,
So I feel like people just write that off and say, well, no, that's just AI written. It's not.
right. And I think that's why so many publishers and artists are shying away from it, is because
Yeah.
they don't want to have to answer that question.
Yeah.
It just starts to raise uncertainty, and it's completely
Yeah.
understandable. Like if it's almost like anything else. Like if I have to spend a lot of time explaining it, it's really not worth it, right? The
Hmm.
joke isn't that funny,
Hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if if you remove that doubt from the beginning of it, then there's really no problem. But if you
Yeah.
look, I mean, there's ethical uses, like Randy Travis, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got 2 songs now in the last year, but thanks to AI and doing exactly like what you just said. I mean, the singer that they're using was a guy, I think, from The Voice or something like that. But like the guy's an extremely talented singer, and he like studied Randy Travis, so
Yeah. He
he
was.
went into the studio delivering it the way
Yeah.
that Randy Travis would deliver it, and then
Yeah.
they just used. I'm going to assume they being the professionals that created that track. I'm guessing that they worked with whoever the developers of the AI were to really dial in that Randy Travis persona.
Yeah.
so that it sounds just like him on the
Well,
recording.
the guy who did it, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was like an understudy of Randy. Randy was his mentor or something. He was worked very closely with him, like, you know, however, I don't really know in what capacity, but I watched like a 5 minute video, so
Yeah.
of course I'm an authority on the subject.
You're an expert. 5 minute
That's
video,
it.
you're
That's
an
it. That's
expert.
it. But from the 5 minute video, it seemed like the guy was very close to Randy's camp.
Yeah.
And so he knew all the nuances. He was very, big fan of him. And
Right. But look at all the education though that needs to take place with a track like that, right? Like if you're not Randy Travis and already have this pedigree behind you where people are gonna pay attention to you for this, he still had to go through and make these videos that showed here's how we did this so that people would know that he had a hand in this and it wasn't just some dude from the internet making a video or making a song that sounded like Randy Travis.
exactly. And they did it seemed like they did use studio musicians too.
Yeah.
So they did everything like they normally would, and got a guy who was essentially already a Randy clone and just used a Randy filter, Randy
Right.
Travis filter on his voice.
Right. And even with all of that and the star power of Mr. Randy Travis, we still have to educate the general population that this was an AI track, but it was done in this particular way. Right?
Yeah.
So now you take a Kevin McIver or a Ron Rogers and try to repeat that. Like, oh, okay, so you used AI.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
sort
it.
of. Yeah, but here's how. Nope, that you used AI. Got it. Thanks. So
Yeah.
I think it's just an uphill battle for guys that are not Randy Travis.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll go ahead and state my just declare my position. I think for all that, for everything you said, for that purpose, as cool as it is, I think at this point I'm just out, man. Like I'm just gonna proceed and keep plugging away like I have for the last 30 years without it. And if things change, like if they say, "Oh, it's perfectly acceptable to use a demo with AI or a filter," then sure, man, I'm all about it. Because totally, I don't. I was so excited with the to be able to not have to hire a female vocalist.
Yeah.
I was so excited to not have to be able to like use those filters. But then I started catching one. Oh, this is not something people are not digging this. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
kind of looked down on.
Right.
Well, then, so I stopped doing that. Well, now with these demos, it's like, man, how incredible would that be? You got to understand, to a degree, people are trying to protect their livelihood.
Yeah, and people are trying to exploit the system too.
Yeah.
So, and that's why the streaming platforms are cracking down, because there's people that are out there that they don't really care about the music. They just want the streaming royalties.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they'll, okay, ChatGPT wrote my lyrics and, Suno wrote my demo and what is it? CD Baby released the song for me, and now you go and subscribe to my channel, and I'm gonna make 3/10 of a cent every spin.
Oh, it is just, it's horrible, man. And it's especially like that with children's music. I mean, you've got video upon video teaching you how to just basically do everything with AI. Have it type this prompt in, and AI will write you a song, and then, it's no. That's not how songwriting works, man. I
Right.
mean, what we're doing, we're trying to use a technology to enhance a song. We grinded on the song for, man, what, half a dozen sessions? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't that many in-person sessions, it was definitely a lot of like waking up early in the morning on the dock, things like that.
Right.
It was a lot of work.
It really
I remember
was.
one time you said, "Hey man, so what, are we going to lose all the work we put into it because you're flaking out?" Oh, you didn't say it like that, but I know that was the sentiment.
Yeah, well, and I mean there was even a moment too where like I vividly recall saying I don't think we're writing the same song here.
Yeah.
And we kind of had to like take a step back and reinvestigate. Are we writing the same song? We come to figure out that we were writing the same
We
song.
were,
It
yeah,
was just
yeah.
because we were two different people working together for the first time. We kind of
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
learn
that's all
each
it
other.
was. I think
You
we
know?
did pretty good for the first time.
Heck yeah, we did.
And I never thought that we weren't writing the same song. I just thought we were both really stubborn and we couldn't agree on lines, but that ended up being to the to the favor of the song, to the benefit of the song.
Right, right.
I'm
Well,
now all said and done. I'm glad we did because we're on we made enough money to both be in this nice tropical place that we're in right now.
absolutely. Yeah, look at this. The girl should be bringing something cold and fruity by
I
any
know,
minute.
man. I know. If there was a buoy out there, I would swim to it. Hmm.
So one final thing on the AI, I'm kind of with you on it. You know, like I don't want to use it to I don't want to try to use it to push my music out there. I want to use it as a tool
Mhm.
to enhance my music and stuff like that. I want to investigate it a little bit more, and
Yeah.
but I always want to make it known like this was AI, blah blah blah. But one thing that I thought was really cool was I've heard guys like Rick Beato talk about using
Mhm.
AI. So, and I've heard Clay Mills talk about it, and
Mhm.
I've heard enough people talk about it, enough respected names in the industry talk
Yeah.
about it, and say like we've used it, you know, and it should just be another tool that's in
Yeah.
your bag.
Right.
So I'm comfortable using it, but I always want to disclose when it's being used.
Yeah.
And I don't think I want to use it on anything that I'm actively like releasing, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But one thing that I thought was really cool was we go to Splice and we pull samples, right? And
Yeah.
I know that there are people that are doing that and putting that music out there. There's music
Absolutely.
that's on the radio right now that's got a Splice sample on it.
Or a
And
native
it,
instrument, virtual instrument, like
right.
session guitarist or something.
And it's been done by top names. So
Oh yeah.
it's not like John Smith cut this album and it luckily wound up on the radio. No, like it could be any mega
Mhm.
artist that's out there right now that's doing it this way.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was really cool that you could actually just prompt Suno or Udio or any of the AI, you know, generators. You could prompt them, write me an instrumental track, and it writes the instrumental track, and you really like it, and now you just top line on it,
Yeah.
you know, and then you can go back in and you can change out the elements of the track.
But I've always felt a little bit icky on top lining tracks too because you didn't write that track. Whoever, so like let's say you buy a $40 track from, one of these top lining track sites. You need to, I mean, are you going to credit that person for the song? I mean, I guess if you wrote the lyric and melody, I guess, but you're not writing the chord progression. I don't know. I mean, that's debatable. I don't think you really fully wrote the song if it's a top lining track, but who am I? What do I know?
Right, right. Well, I'm kind of in the same boat, but you know, and we already talked about that. You know, I feel I'm not satisfied. If it's not me the whole way through, I'm not satisfied. And that's why I write music. I write music to
Right.
satisfy me,
Exactly. So to
you know.
feed your soul, man.
Yeah. And
And
if
and
anybody
you
else likes what I wrote, fantastic. You know, I'm all for that, but it feels manufactured if it's not something that comes from me.
and ultimately I think that's what it comes down to for everybody because if you people want to see and hear humans human. I think is the kind of word on the street. People want to hear. I don't care if a computer can beat a chess champion every time in chess. I don't care. I personally don't care about chess anyway, but if I did, or tennis, I don't care if they made a robot that could just suddenly just get out there and just beat the best tennis player in the world. I wouldn't care about that. I want to see two humans play.
But do you know what's cool though about like in both of those examples that you just gave?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the human in both. I'm
Oh yeah, yeah,
already in my brain. I have already realized that the computer's probably going to win, but I'm
yeah,
rooting for the human.
yeah.
And
Of course.
that's all you need to know, right? The computer could do this, but the story here is I'm focused on is this person going to be able to beat that computer?
Well,
Because
that's what
that's what I want to see.
we're all going to be rooting for the humans when Chat GPT comes to life and Skynet rises. We're going to be too late, man. We're all going to be rooting for the humans. You'll be like, why did we let these guys in Silicon Valley just do this? Um, I don't know, man. I'm with you. I think it's a great tool. I think though the risk factor is right now that you run the risk of being blacklisted by
Yeah,
people by the gatekeepers.
right.
So that's why I say for right now, I don't think there's anything ethically wrong with making a demo like we did. Like what you did with that song, I
Mm,
think is perfectly, other than a flat seven here, a weird robot chord there. There was one time where they took the progression instead of for the chorus, instead of being a 1 5 2 4, they made it a 1 5 6 4. Oh, okay. Well, it's, oh, big deal. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah.
Still worked.
Right.
But nah, man. I think for right now, I don't think it's ethically wrong to do that. What you did. I think it's ethically wrong and cringy and icky to say to just type in a prompt and get a completely AI written song and say, "This is a song I wrote."
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, some folks may argue, oh well, you record your singer-songwriter demo that's just a guitar and a vocal, and then somebody picks that song up from a publishing house, and the next thing you know, it's on some major artist's album. Well, their producer made the whole track. Well, yeah, but that's there was concessions the whole way. There was an agreement that you liked my song, and you wanted to record my song, and you wanted this guy to do the production on it. So like there were concessions the whole way through, and you were
Yeah.
still a part of it, because
Yeah.
to my understanding, the songwriter gets brought into the studio whenever the musicians are cutting it, because if there's something that they want to change, they kind of want to run it by the guy first or the gal first, right?
It's just so much of the journey of songwriting is being taken out when it's heavily AI influenced. I remember one time I had these this female group from um, Palm Springs, Florida, I believe it was. It was a really nice, lots of palm trees, cool place. They probably had beaches like this. They brought us down there, put us up in this nice hotel. My kids got to swim in this beautiful pool, had this nice overlook, this nice lake, our hotel from our hotel window. They took us and the whole party was catered, honored us. This is the songwriter of Unbelievable, and to honor you, and it just kind of just felt like a rock star, man. Like, they the whole thing was paid for,
Yeah,
all expenses paid. And I mean, you just don't get that by just sitting and,
write a
you know,
prompt.
yeah, you don't. And it's just, for me, it's about the journey, man. I mean, the whole thing is the whole journey of writing songs and this whole songwriter life. That's why, again, I'm just going to keep plugging away, man, like I have
I'm
for the
with you.
last 30 years.
I'm with you.
Well,
All right, dude,
buddy,
I think we're gonna run out of time here.
yeah, I think we are. Yeah. Awesome, man. I enjoyed it. Hey, so what do you want to say? 2 weeks? Maybe jump on it again and just have maybe a
The
shorter
final version.
final version.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, cool, man. 2 Thursdays from now, maybe.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Toodles.